So, we got tired of it. We stopped recruiting. And we just played the game as if it was a normal game. And we pretended that every now and then we were sending some people back to the village, where they were promptly imprisoned.
Yeah, you're the heroes. Good job.
My character had some very heated I had some very heated discussions with him, and my character had some slightly less heated discussions with some of the rest of the party, but most of the rest of the party understood that, this ain't so great, actually.
What the fuck are we doing?
Because he had this habit. He wouldn't tell us most things in character. He would tell us out of character.
Oh,
because
geez.
they're things we just know. Our characters just know them. And
Great.
he would spend days writing about these characters, his wereskunks, his babies, and he would go into far, far too much detail.
I can only, I don't even want to imagine.
Well, you don't have to imagine.
Oh, God.
The story I'm about to tell is probably the most disgusting part of wereskunks. So I'm going to put an annotation, here. And this is going to skip you to when I'm done talking about wereskunk biological habits,
oh, God.
so to speak. We good? Okay, you've been warned. So the really creepy part about wereskunk biology was how deeply he went into it. He would go into things that nobody ever needed to know. Things like how wereskunks mated, how wereskunks did surgery, and how wereskunks circumcised each other.
Wait, what?
Circumcised. He wrote 3, if not 4 paragraphs about wereskunk circumcision rituals.
Are you fucking kidding me? Now I'm apologizing for my language right now, but the fuck are you talking about?
So, wereskunks, like all lycanthropes, had damage reduction against silver.
Okay.
The problem with that is Draco...
What do you mean damage reduction apart from things that are silver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Draco thought damage reduction was regeneration.
No.
He was of the belief that damage reduction was you injure someone, but the wound heals immediately.
No.
It's not. Damage reduction is you fail to injure someone, or magical prevention makes it so that the wound just is not there, or it's just, it bounces off, or it doesn't actually get through the skin, or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, he was not of that belief. He was of the belief that if you injured someone, it would still injure them, but it would immediately regenerate. So in order to actually circumcise a wereskunk, you had to use a silver scalpel.
Oh my God.
Or else the foreskin would regenerate.
Why would you
Because he's Christian, and obviously you have to get circumcised.
It's a Jewish thing.
Well, either way,
whatever.
He then decided, because he got thinking, well, I mean, if it's an animal and it's hurt down there, it's going to start trying to lick the wound.
Oh my God, no.
So he detailed how after a wereskunk is circumcised, which doesn't happen at birth, it happens like age 6 or 7.
Yeah,
most are. Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of Jewish people. I might be getting this wrong. I don't think I am. But a lot of Jewish people have their circumcisions around 4 or 5.
It was even later than that. It was when they were about 8 or 9 equivalent, and they would immediately start licking that area because it hurts and they're that flexible. So obviously, naturally, they would do that. And then while they're down there, I mean, it's natural that they'd keep licking because it feels good. And he went into detail about how wereskunks would start autofillating. By the way, no one asked him for this information.
I am stunned fucking speechless.
Welcome to Janesville.
Mm.
He also, would go into great detail about just how acidic and smelly wereskunk spray was. And how if you were to take a bottle and put it up against your ear and spray into it, well, now you have a bottle of what's called alchemist stink. And it's just like alchemist fire, only it's full of stink gas and stink juice. And here's the thing. He recently changed this because it was stupid not to change this. But while I was playing Janesville, skunk spray would do stink damage.
Stink damage. Okay.
In D&D, there's things like fire damage, and,
Yeah.
and cold damage, and acid damage,
Right.
and they do damage to your hit points.
Right.
They hurt you. They wound you lethally.
Of course. Yes.
So did stink damage.
Okay. Like.
When you got sprayed with skunk spray, you would take 1d6 stink damage and become stunned. Regardless of how that is a completely overpowered natural weapon, that's stupid.
I mean, 1d6 though.
That can kill a commoner right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the same damage as a low-level fireball. Or burning hands, shocking grasp, a sword.
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
And you could take feats to make it stronger.
Feats.
And you could bottle it so that you could carry around infinite alchemist stink.
Jesus.
It never went bad. You never had to spend any components. So it was just, they basically got to carry around alchemist fire up their ass all the time.
That'll light a fire up there.
So
real
yeah,
quick.
You could have wereskunks bend over, spray you, and your face would melt off and you would die from
God.
stink damage. Stink damage.
I bet you that was fetishized too.
Oh god, yes, yes. He would go into great detail about how their threatening stink kept away all but the greatest of predators, and da-da-da-da-da, and how superior they were to humans, and how humans naturally wanted to be outbred by them.
No, we don't. Actually, factually.
He also had it so that they never aged. They would still die at a predetermined point that was roughly equivalent to a human lifespan, only a little bit longer, because they're a little bit better.
A little bit.
But they would stay perfectly healthy, young, and they would look like they were in their 20s throughout their entire life.
Life.
Until a few years before they died, when their regeneration, damage reduction, which is not regeneration, would go haywire, and they'd all get Deadpool super cancer. And he said, oh yeah, I mean, it makes sense that once it stops working properly, it'd probably grow like a mutated third arm or something.
How?
And we're like, the fuck, sir?
Why even?
And he'd do this all the time. All in his free time, he would write about wereskunks. He would tell us about wereskunks. He would go on and on about wereskunk mating rituals, religious ceremonies, their eating habits, everything about wereskunks, and we never asked.
There's a part of a DM that I think is important whenever you're trying to flesh out your world and your characters, and it shows that you give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. You're fetishizing this, sir.
You never need to describe any circumcision rituals ever.
This is a fetish game.
It was. It was a fetish game. And I think that gets through all the disgusting bit. So, welcome back, everyone who didn't have the stomach for sitting through that. You probably made the right decision.
You smart individual.
So, after all of the horrible description about where skunk biology went on, he had us go to our next adventure, which is the pinnacle of Janesville. We're reaching the climax.
Please don't say climax when talking about Janesville.
We're
Please.
reaching the culmination.
That doesn't help either.
This event is the most important event. So I'm actually going to skip it for a second and go to something that technically happened afterwards because it doesn't gel with the story right. Dungeon Kitty. So we were at the point of after the Acorn Golem incident.
Acorn Golem.
We'll get to it in a moment.
Oh, okay.
After that incident, which I will describe after this, we were traipsing through a forest, just on our way to adventure.
Okay.
We had done nothing wrong. We had angered nobody. We were suddenly and almost magically beset upon by elves.
Okay.
So many elves that the GM probably thought we were going to fight them. We didn't.
Okay.
Because we had no beef with the elves.
Right.
We talked to them. And the GM was very awkwardly surprised by this. So, but they're elves. They're reasonable. They're not evil creatures. So he had to talk
Typically
back. And the elves decided that, hey, maybe these guys should be brought in for questions.
Right.
And at first, that sounds perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
They imprisoned us.
Mm.
But the GM swore up and down we were not imprisoned, and it was not a trial. It was not an interrogation either, even though we were being held against our will in separate rooms, asked questions individually, and the answer to our questions determined whether they'd let us out or not.
The fuck is it then if it's not being held prisoner and or interrogated?
We got into an argument about that, because at this point, this happened after what's coming up, and we were at the point where we were angry at the game.
Okay.
Most of the players had left at this point. Me, Skilled, and the Antler dude, among one other dude who was like a magic shapeshifter or something.
Mm-hmm.
We stuck it out because we wanted to see how deep the rabbit hole went.
At that point,
It was a train wreck. We could not look away.
You've hit critical velocity, and now you're just watching the fire burn.
We're just watching the world burn.
Okay.
Well, we had an argument with him asking, well, what the hell is this if it's not an interrogation?
It sure sounds like it.
It was an interrogation. But he never admitted it was an interrogation. He declared up and down, no, it's not. You're not in prison. It's not a trial. You're just being held for questioning. Well, we kind of made the DM real mad by answering all their questions. Because we had no reason to lie to them.
Yeah, why would you lie?
We didn't tell them any specifics about, like, where exactly the village is, because land dispute.
Oh, he wanted to keep his little secret village secret.
But we totally said, we're from the village of Skunks, that we're looking for people to come in and, like, peacefully settle. We're just passing through. We don't have any beef with you guys. We're fine. We didn't do anything wrong. We're just passing through. Please let us go.
Right.
He got upset at that.
Of course he did.
I don't know whether he wanted us to fight them or whether he wanted us to completely deny everything, but he got so furious that we were cooperating with them that he just kind of quit one session. He just left.
Your DM just, like,
Left.
pieced?
He just pieced.
Wow.
And eventually, we got let go, but the elf said, we're gonna need a piece of one of you if we have to scry you and, like, communicate, in case you're lying to us, if we find out you've done something.
Okay.
And I offer, like, sure, I ain't got no beef with you elves. Take a lock of my hair, But the dude's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm like, why? They'll find the village. I don't live at the village. No, but you're going to go back to the village. You can't let them find the village.
You want people to come to your stupid village. Why?
What's the problem? We're like miles away. We're days travel away from the village at this point. If not weeks, because we never went back in the actual game. We just left and sent people back.
No one cares about your fucking village.
But he's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do anything like that. You have to make sure it stays secret. And we just said, okay, DM, how do you want us to do this? Because we'd understood at this point.
You're like in a rock and a hard place with this guy. He wants you to do something.
But he doesn't tell us what.
But whatever you do makes him mad because he's hyper specific in what he wants you to do.
Basically. Well, we asked him, okay, DM, Draco, what do you want us to do? And he says, oh, well, isn't it obvious? You have the shapeshifter give him a piece of his fur, and then once you're out of sight, he'll just shape into a new form and never go back to his original body.
Does that work? I mean, it's still part of that person.
Technically, when you shapeshift, your body physically changes.
Okay.
So if he tried to scry with that piece of fur, it wouldn't work. Problem. He said he wants the shapeshifter to never turn back into his original body ever again. Ever.
I mean, okay. This is like a misguided cleverness.
Yeah.
To where, like, if let's say you did this in our game, and we had options, but the clever thing to do would be to do that. He's not taking into account all of the simplistic answers. He's going right to the bending the rules answer.
Yes, because that's how he thought it's supposed to be.
No, it's like, or you just say, like, no, and deal with the repercussions.
Or you just say no and roll a diplomacy check. Or you just say no and say we're not beholden to you. Or you just give them a piece because who the fuck cares?
Who the fuck cares?
But no,
if they go to the village, won't they just see like a normal village?
They will. They'll just see a normal village because I wasn't allowed in the secret were-skunk part of the village because I wasn't a were-skunk, and I was fine with that.
Who cares?
So all they ever would have seen was a normal village.
Whatever.
But no, he wanted this guy to shapeshift and never turn back into into his natural body.
That's evil.
He's like, oh, just completely change your person. Just become a new person. You can do that. There's no penalties for doing it. Just do it. It's fine.
Except your psyche.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
So, now I'm going to go back to something that happened technically before this, but it's the climax of the story. The Acorn Golem incident.
Acorn Golem.
So, when we first got to that forest that we found the elves in, we were attacked by a creature. Now, Draco likes to make creatures. Weird creatures. Creatures that make new rules and don't obey the existing ones. Like, at one point he created a little suicidal firefly that stores holy energy, that is intelligent, and you're supposed to grab it and twist it in half, and it releases all the holy energy. And it's a good creature, and it wants you to do that.
A firefly.
It's basically like Navi.
Oh, like a pixie.
It's like a pixie, but you grab it and rip it in half.
Oh my god.
He says, oh, they're not like human level intelligent, they're like animal intelligent. But like, that's still got intelligence. It's not mindless. I wouldn't mind if it was a literally mindless ball of light that you just smashed and it let out energy.
Yeah.
But no, it has intelligence like an animal, and you grab it and you have to literally rip it in half. And it lets out all the healing energy. It's like the world's most evil potion.
Oh my god. Fucking what is with this guy?
So he'd make things like that, or make a bunch of like undead body parts that would ride a body, and they'd all get to act, even though it makes no sense. Like, you'd be attacked by the skeleton, then the zombie, then the organs, then the spleen would shoot at you, and the intestines. They would all get full rounds of actions, and that's stupid. Just make a zombie, or have them just be special attacks.
Yeah.
But he never thought like that. He come up with a cool idea, and he decides to run with it and make whatever rules he needs to make it work.
Sure.
So, we were attacked by one of his more poorly received creations, an acorn golem.
The acorn golem.
This doesn't sound so bad at first. Stupid.
It's fucking acorn.
No, it's not an acorn.
It's acorns.
It's millions upon millions of acorns shaped like a person that have been animated. It's a moving fluid of acorns. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But I guess.
From a better show, it's better than the Manure Golem.
It's better than the shit golem.
The Dookie Golem.
Yeah. But, well, we're attacked by this acorn golem.
Acorn Golem.
And it attacks us, and we fight it, and we win quite easily.
Wait.
Incredibly easily.
Okay, because it's acorns.
Because it's acorns. It has, damage reduction 5 to everything. He said it has something that gets past it, but he wasn't telling us what. But it's only damage reduction 5.
What, fire?
No, not 5. You'd think.
Yeah.
Take a few guesses.
If it's not fire, then, Sonic?
Nope.
Wind?
Nope.
Earth?
Nope.
Earth's not a magic type. Is it?
We thought it might be fire because chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's stupid.
Or it's a plant.
Yeah.
It's a plant. So we thought fire. Nope. We thought, okay, it comes from a tree. Lightning. Nope. Acid? Nope.
What the fuck is it weak to, then?
We'll get to that. Viewers at home, try to guess. If you know how damage reduction works, Try to guess. Is it bludgeoning, slashing, piercing, an element, an energy type? Guess.
I think bludgeoning, because it's like a...
You think it's a maybe your sword goes through it, but a hammer wouldn't. Maybe. Well, but it's only DR5, and anyone can get through DR5. It weakens your attack quite a bit, but even like a short sword,
You're still hitting it for damage.
It does D6 plus strength damage. So if you roll a 6, even if you have no strength modifier, you're doing a point of damage.
Yeah, right.
So, us being Gestalt super monsters, we wipe the floor with it. The Bard has a two-handed polearm that he's doing power attacks with. We vaporize it.
That seems anticlimactic.
Then the DM says, you weren't supposed to be able to beat that. So he has it get back up at full hit points and gives it 5 more points of damage reduction.
That's cheating.
It is objectively cheating.
Faux pas, sir. Bad form.
And he told us about it. He said, okay, we're going to do the fight again. Anything you've spent, you've still spent it.
Oh.
The Acorn Golem gets back up, and it's got full hit points.
That's fair.
And then we kill it again.
Oh, shit.
Because DR10, while that limits, like people who don't have really good damage, maybe they hit a lot, but they don't.
Yeah.
It's only 10 points. A longsword does D8 plus strength. A greatsword does D12 plus strength.
Right, okay.
And this guy had a polearm, and he was power attacking.
Mm-hmm.
So he was still cutting through it like butter. My sneak attacks were doing nothing, but for some reason my vital strikes work, because that worked on golems, don't ask questions.
Okay, sure.
But I was still doing enough damage with my weapon and doing like Piranha Strike, which is like power attack for light weapons, that I was still helping fight it. And we kill it again.
But he wasn't too happy about that.
He has it get back up again.
What?
With 5 more points of damage reduction.
Oh my god.
And at this point, it's been doing damage to us.
Yeah.
Because it's not just sitting there letting us fight it.
No.
It's been hurting us, but we've been fine. But now it's becoming a numbers game. And it's clear that he doesn't want us to fight this thing. He keeps trying to get us to run away. And we're getting
You have
pissed.
better ways of doing that. Like, don't say why it's getting up. Just make it get up.
A better dungeon master can run that exact encounter using the proper mechanic, regeneration.
Yeah. Or like Cthulhu. D something rounds and it gets back up.
Mm-hmm.
You still have rounds to like
Run
or
heal.
do something.
And maybe but no. He had it get back up again with 5 more points of damage reduction. And this time,
bananas.
we ran the numbers. We could beat it, but we knew he was just going to bring it back. He didn't want us to fight at this point. He wanted us to run, and we got so mad that we just like, fine, whatever, we run. And the Acorn Golem shambles after us, and we get away because it's slow. It's a golem.
Yeah.
We find a little nearby village that's been hassled by this golem. There's no trade coming in or out. Everyone's being attacked.
The terror of the Acorn Golem.
Oh no! Acorns. Ah!
It's nutty.
We start researching how to fight the Acorn Golem.
There's actually notes on the Acorn Golem.
No, I mean in character.
Oh.
Because we want to know how to kill it.
Yeah.
We tried knowledge checks. Nothing. We tried going to the library. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We tried sending out messages to mage colleges. Nothing. We eventually... Because he wanted us to do very specific thing, but he forgot to give us the hint.
Oh, jeez.
When we first fought the golem, there was supposed to be a very obvious hint about how you beat the golem. But he forgot to give it to us.
What a chode.
So halfway through our research, we said, no, fuck you, fuck your golem. We are going to sit in this building for the rest of our lives if we have to, devising a way to beat this Acorn Golem. And he got mad because we put the brakes on his railroad.
Right.
So he told us, it's super obvious, you guys. Use squirrels.
Wait.
Didn't you obviously know that it's squirrels?
Wait. Squirrels.
He wanted us to do squirrel damage.
Oh my god. That is the dumbest.
If you guess squirrels, you've heard this story before.
More than fucking stink damage. Because okay, look, it's a biological thing. I would just call it acid damage.
If it's that acidic, just acid damage. But whatever, it's a thing.
I get it, but squirrel damage?
Squirrel damage.
Squirrel damage.
What he wanted us to do.
Oh, this is going to be rich.
And he originally forgot to give us the hint, because originally there were supposed to be no squirrels around. He apparently killed them all, which doesn't get across the idea to use squirrels.
No,
it gets across the opposite.
He's being very effective against the thing that's supposed to be
exactly. But what he wanted us to do was to squirrelify our weapons, our spells, and our armor.
Squirrelify?
Well, this was easy enough for the mages. He said, oh, just have your fireball look like a squirrel, or have your sonic spells be like really loud squirrel squeaks. Which is, first of all, fucking stupid.
That is fucking stupid.
Second of all, there are no mechanics to support any of this. But for us who
fluff.
I used a rapier. What he wanted me to do was impale a living squirrel onto my rapier to coat the blade in squirrel blood and then stab him with it.
Oh, tell me you did not.
Of course I didn't. We refused. At this point, and he actually, quote, well, the most effective way to get through the damage reduction would be to, hit it with squirrels, but obviously the impact would kill the squirrel. So the next time you hit it, you'll be doing less damage.
Oh, that's the bad part of it. Not bludgeoning.
He wanted us to murder wildlife, innocent forest animals that had done nothing wrong. He wanted me to run them through with my rapier and then stab the acorn golem.
This is fucked up.
Beyond we refused. Reproach. What I did is, and I very specifically said no. I'm going to capture some squirrels. I'm going to, trim their little claws very respectfully. I'm going to use, the guy over here, the ranger who has wild empathy. He's going to help me keep the squirrels calm. I'm going to trim their little claws. And I'm going to, put the claws on my sword. I'm going to, use some adhesive or something to, or just string, whatever. I'm going to cover my sword in squirrel fur and claws and some discarded teeth. Maybe one of the squirrels that's already dead. I'll take some teeth out from the squirrel that's already dead and, file it down and put it on the end of my sword.
It's a lot of upkeep for this stupid thing. What, was that not good?
He was disappointed with us. Because you're not being as effective as you could be. Why aren't you just using squirrels? It's much easier to do that. They're just animals. Don't worry about it. Because it's evil.
Oh, but heaven and earth has to move for your fucking skunk people.
Yeah, I don't care who you are. Taking innocent wild animals and bludgeoning them to death in a horrible manner, just so that you can beat an acorn golem that you've beaten twice before. That's evil.
It is evil.
My character refused.
Rightly so.
The soul knife had his antlers become squirrel-shaped antlers.
That's retarded.
The bard didn't actually do anything because he was already kicking 18 kinds of ass. So he just kept on keeping on. I think he said, I guess if I find a squirrel that's already dead, I'll take some of its blood and put it on the weapon, whatever, I I'm not gonna go hunting squirrels.
No.
And he got super upset, and we fought the acorn golem again, and it died super easy. And no, we never actually even fought the acorn golem again because we got so upset at the adventure that he just said, fine, okay, you gather the right materials, you beat the golem, you win.
What a crybaby.
Yeah. Because his special campaign was taken off the rails because we didn't want to be evil people.
What a fucking joke.
Well, after that, a lot of the players left, and the elf campaign and the elf trial happened, where we were totally put in jail, but they didn't put us in jail.
No,
they didn't put you in jail.
It's not jail, yo.
No, it's not an interrogation. It's just an interrogation.
Yeah.
The game kind of faltered for a bit because he kept hemorrhaging players left and right. At the end, it was just me and Skilled. The soul knife guy left, and so did the shapeshifter dude.
Skilled, you're a trooper.
Yeah, Skilled and I were watching the world burn. We were in for a penny, in for a pound. I was going to stay and see just how horrible it got. And so was he. But he got 2 new players that did not know about Janesville.
Poor bastards.
And he was going to run a new adventure, a new thing. Well, we got to the setup for the adventure. We talked to the quest giver, and he gave us the adventure, and we all promptly quit. Because here's what he wanted us to do. Here's the backstory. In a little forest town, like a little plains type of town, it's a big, it's got walls. It's not super huge, not a trade hub, but it's got walls. There are 2 main religions. A good cult and an evil cult. And he called them cults because in his world, the D&D pantheon, they were just angels. The Christian god I Am was the actual god. And all the other gods and goddesses, no, just angels. The evil ones were all demons. The evil ones were all demons, and the good ones were all angels. And the middle ones, they were just pretenders. I think that's kind of a cardinal sin of Dungeons & Dragons.
It is.
Unless you build an entire setting from scratch,
Yeah.
just with the one.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. You can do duality.
You
can do a Triforce if you really get into it, maybe.
Yeah.
But you have to build for it. I think it's a cardinal gaming sin to take the hard work and effort someone else has put into a pantheon and say, no, God, mine's better.
Whatever.
They all still exist, but mine's better. I think that's bad. Either do it or don't.
Exactly.
Commit. If you make a choice, commit. Do it or don't. But he said they were a cult, because even though they were goodly, they worshipped Pelor as the true god. They thought Pelor was the god.
Right.
And the evil cult, well, they were just an evil cult. But they didn't break any laws, so they were allowed to stay. Why, I'll never know, why anyone would tolerate an evil cult that calls themselves an evil cult and does evil cult things in black robes and evil sacraments.
I have no idea.
It wasn't even like Pathfinder Zon Kuthan, where they're just into pain, so, I mean, you're not doing anything wrong, you're just flogging yourself, whatever, dude.
Sure.
But no, there was a good cult and an evil cult. And in the backstory, the evil cult had murdered every member of the good cult and replaced them. Ignore for the fact that little Susie's grandfather is now someone completely different.
Yeah.
How an entire organization worth of people never went home again. No, he didn't think about that. But the good cult had been murdered and replaced with the evil cult. But they were still doing good things. They were wearing the white robes, they were going out and healing the sick and donating to the poor. They were pretending to be the good cult.
This is shenanigans.
And the quest giver wanted us to pretend to be the evil cult by dressing in their robes, go and murder all of the members of the now evil good cult to frame the evil cult so that their original sin gets punished. Because, yes, murder. He wanted us to go into a place, lock all the doors, and kill everyone wearing a white robe.
This guy has problems.
Because they were all irrevocably evil, and they all deserved to be murdered. And it was a good thing to do, and it was just going to punish them for something they had already done. We asked, well, why can't you just prove they did the murder in the first place? Oh, there's no evidence. Then how do you know they did the murder in the first place? I know.
Well, he knows, but how do you know?
How can we trust that you know this? Just trust me. We quit.
Yeah.
We ended the campaign there, because we all said, fuck that. We're not going to commit murder. I was actually somewhat willing to see just how deep the train wreck went, but once he started calling it murder, I'm like, no.
You were done.
I was done. I'm not going to have my character commit murder of an entire group who are doing good deeds. Whether or not they may secretly believe in an evil god, they're healing the sick, They're feeding the poor.
They're going through the motions.
They're bettering the community. How do I know they're actually evil?
Yeah, right.
How do I know all of them are actually evil?
Exactly.
I can't, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to murder all those people, and no one was. No one was willing to do that. We quit. En masse. Every single player in his campaign quit.
Serves him right.
Well, of course the campaign died. He could not get any more players willing to play Janesville.
Yeah.
And we stopped, most of us stopped interacting with him on any level.
Yeah.
But I've done a little bit of research.
Is he still doing it?
Draco's still doing it. He's not doing Janesville, though.
Ugh.
He's doing a game that is some long draconic name like Rukschlagsteinian.
Sure.
Whatever. It's some weird, unpronounceable name. And it translates to justified genocide. The idea is that a goodly gold dragon who is so smart that he has every class level, and he's got the highest intelligence and charisma in the kingdom, and he's super awesome, you guys, I swear he's not my OC, is trying out this funny thing called democracy. Except he's not really, because it's just like, oh, but everyone loves him so much they all keep voting for him.
Sure.
Well, he has gathered together all of the biologically evil races. And he makes a very clear distinction that these races are evil based on their biology. That orcs, goblins, kobolds, troglodytes, they're all inherently evil. Just because they are. Well, he's gathered them all into concentration camps.
Oh, shit.
And he's giving them one chance to be good. And if they cause trouble again, he's just going to kill every last one of them.
Little fucking putts.
Yeah. And he thinks that's good.
Yeah, but he
The
does.
players are supposed to be siding with the dragon.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
Well, he's gotten so ingrained in my brain that a couple times in my games, I've thought about making jokes about were-skunks, but then that would mean that were-skunks exist. And I can't have that.
Never cross that threshold.
Never. In any game I ever run, there is no such thing as a were-skunk.
And rightly so.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the story of Janesville. He's still doing it. He's still making these really terrible games. He's still thinking that good is murder.
Reel back your fetish there, pal.
And we all suffered for it. Anyone who has lived through Janesville can talk about DR Squirrel. And we all just recoil in horror because it's just too terrifying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's not a whole lot more to talk about. Thankfully, after that, I was so inspired that someone has to run a good game on IRC that I actually started the first campaign I ever finished. Finished a little earlier than I would have expected, but it finished. And that was the campaign Burning Plague, which is the name of my OC channel now, because it was the very first game online that I ran, and it was the first campaign that I ever ran to completion. And I think I'll talk about that as a little bit as my next episode. I'm not going to go into full Corvosa level detail with it, but I'll talk about some of the highs and lows of Burning Plague. So, hope everyone enjoyed this episode, and to those of you who obviously didn't, I hope you can find brain bleach. You're going to need it.
Sorry.
Yeah. But everyone else, have a happy Halloween. We'll see you next time where we talk about Burning Plague.